On this episode of Deleted WrestleZone, we're going to do a review on NXT's Takeover in your house. So, I was excited, and I would hope you guys were excited to watch this. So, let's get started with another episode of Deleted WrestleZone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up. 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 Get up, get up.
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted WrestleZone, all things pro wrestling from NXT, AEW, New Japan, and many other promotions such as matches, individual wrestlers, everything else. So, today's episode, we got the review of NXT Takeover in your house. Now, if you guys are not familiarized with that term in your house, this was something that's been done back in the 90s. They had this little segment called In Your House. Now, I don't remember how many times they've done it, but my favorite one is the one where they did in Canada. This was during the time when the original Hart Foundation between Bret Hart, Owen, the British Bulldog, Brian Pillman, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart were in a 10-man tag team match against Team WWF, which consisted of Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Legion of Doom, Ken Shamrock, and Goldust. So I loved the whole segment of In Your House, and I thought it was pretty amazing, something fresh, something that bring a bit of the old school mixed with the new school. That is something I feel that was done right, because who like me, I grew up watching WWE back when it was known as WWF at the time, and I felt like maybe they did something right for once, and I feel like and there's been some good matches, and they even brought back an old broadcaster who used to do In Your House years ago. Of course, he had to add like he thinks he's old, like he's outdated, and all this. That's pretty cool. I love that. I feel like they did something amazing. I feel like bringing old school with the new school is what we needed. So let's start with the first match of the night. Well, it first started out with Code Orange playing Underneath, which was the official theme song of NXT Takeover in your house. Now let's jump into the first match. This one was a 6-woman tag team match, which consisted of team number 1, Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Nox, and Mia Yim versus Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Candice LeRae. Now, how did this match came about? As you all recall, Candice LeRae has always been having problems with people. She's been saying that everybody now should do things her way. And of course, she has had a problem recently with Tegan Nox, who basically got involved in a rivalry that she started with Mia Yim. Mia Yim, who's been given the opportunity to face Charlotte Flair, kind of gave her that saying that you didn't get the job done, but why did you get the opportunity? And and then of course Dakota Kai and Rachel Gonzalez have their history and issues towards Tegan Nox because Tegan used to be her best friend, and then Shotzi Blackheart got in the mix, so it became a 6-man tag team match. Now, much of the match, Candice LeRae has been avoiding Mia Yim, who she couldn't wait to get her hands on her the entire time. And this was a good one, where you starting to see more of the dynamics between Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. Two different women from different parts of the world, and it was amazing. And of course, Mia Yim, who is friends with both of them, she wanted to get retribution for Candice LeRae for what she's done. And there was a moment that Dakota Kai nearly could have taken off Rachel Gonzalez's head off, but luckily she pulled out of the way. But once the whole thing with Candice LeRae and Mia Yim got involved, they took the fight way in the back. So they just moved on from there. Thought it was pretty cool on that one. So, but in result, Tegan Nox did the Wizard's Wand, or whatever that move she does. She did that, Dakota Kai, earning her a victory, and this led to we may see Tegan Nox being pushed to the top. We're not sure yet how far, but all we can do is wait and see what's going to happen. So, Shotzi Blackheart, Tegan Nox, and Mia Yim, since she was not there due to her fight with Candice. They won the match. Now the next match is Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. This match was thought of ever since the attack from Finn Balor. Finn Balor was in NXT about a month ago, and out of the nowhere, someone attacked, or was it 2 months ago? Maybe 2 months ago, I'm not sure. Someone attacked Finn Balor backstage, and no one knew. Finn Balor's been looking for the snake who attacked them, and he had no clue who it was. Now he later heard the comments from Cameron Grimes, and Finn didn't like it. So, following week they put up in a match, and out of nowhere, Damian Priest attacked him and told him he was the snake. He was the one behind the sneak attack on him in the locker room. And Priest, the only reason he did this was to prove that if he beats Finn Balor, then his name will be etched in infamy as the guy who did it. It's something that Cameron Grimes is doing too, since he's bragging about it. But this match was brutal and also very, also much like David versus Goliath, but more of the athleticism between both these men. If you ever seen Damien Priest as Punish Martinez, what he did back in the indie scenes, you can see what he's capable of as an athlete. He knows how to do high kicks and all that. It was like move for move and good spots that happen. But let me put you guys to the spot that happened in the match. Damian Priest was about to do like Razor's Edge kind of move on Balor, and he sees the steel steps. Like, he wanted to use that to ensure he beats Finn Balor, but instead Balor managed to get out of there and kind of super kicks Priest right in the back. Like, it looked like there was a part of the edge that got him. I'm not sure if that was a cause of concern or whatever it was, but every moment in this match, it was showing like Damian Priest will not be silent neither with Finn Balor, because he will not let this match go to waste or whatever. But and resulted, Finn Balor won the match with ending it with the coup de grace, which was very effective as always. So basically, Damian Priest is no longer now having his name sketched in the infamy as the guy who should have been Finn Balor, but it was a great match. I enjoyed it. Just to give you guys the info, it's been announced that Finn Balor will get his hands on Cameron Grimes, payback for what happened the last time. Even though he did not lose the match fairly, he just took an advantage from Damian Priest. And of course, Cameron Grimes gonna say that he beat him, but we'll see when that happens. Now the next match, this one was for the NXT North American Championship. Now this particular rivalry is also related to Candice LeRae along with Mia Yim. As you all recall, the Garganos insulted verbally Lee and Mia Yim. And of course, if you guys know, Mia Yim and Keith Lee in real life are in fact a couple. They're in a relationship. And Johnny Gargano feels that, Keith Lee should follow the ways of the Gargano way, which they're trying to reinvent the NXT under their image. But of course, Johnny Gargano will do anything with a ticket. If you recall last time, he used the key on Keith's eye, but we'll see what happens. Now, here's the spots that kind of made a little difference on this one. There was some good moments on this one. I put down in the notes right here. Oh yeah, if you saw this, you remember what Lee did to Adam Cole. He pounced him right through the audience. This time he pounced Gargano through the plexiglass. I was like, damn, that is something that we never forget. That's kind of similar to what Ace Romero did back before he was signed with Impact. But yeah, and then later we see LeRae coming out trying to help her husband, but she didn't realize she was being pursued by Mia Yim, who still has her issues towards her. And of course, Gargano has been using methods to ensure he wins. He was also using the injured left hand that he used the following week in that mixed tag team. And every moment he tried to use that under his advantage to pick up the win, it wasn't working, no matter how much pain Keith was doing. But it ended with the power bomb. At least twice, and Keith Lee retained the title. So basically, the Gargano way is not going to happen. So Keith Lee retained the title. Now, the next match we have, it's a backlot brawl for the NXT Championship between Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream. Now, this whole thing between their rivalry began months ago when Velveteen Dream returned and started playing these mind games towards Roderick Strong. And apparently, in the steel cage match, Velveteen Dream sacrificed his match to allow Roderick Strong to win, but kept Adam Cole in the cage, indicating he wanted the title. Now, for a while, for weeks or months, however it has been, Adam Cole has been ducking Velveteen Dream, saying he doesn't deserve to become champion or earn a title shot. So he had enough of him. So he had a conference call with William Regal. Now, Regal's not here to talk about their victory, that Adam Cole is the longest reigning champion. But he's asking him, what is it does he want? So Adam Cole said that he's willing to give him the match under one condition. If Adam Cole retains the title, Velveteen Dream will no longer be allowed to have another title opportunity as long as he's still champion. And Regal accepted the terms. So this was more like a last opportunity for Velveteen Dream. But was not a typical place to, how do I say this, to have your match. It was more of a down in the backlot. Some great moments on this one, where you see Adam Cole arriving in a monster truck, Velveteen Dream in a Lambo. So practically that's what happened. There was a moment when they were outside of the ring, and Uber showed up. Now it kind of makes you think, did Adam Cole call for an Uber? To get out. I mean, it sounded that's what it was, of course. And then as soon as Cole, who was trying to run from away from Dream, he hid in one of the buildings and used a fire extinguisher on him, tried to ensure, and then he set up. Then here comes, then much where the beatdown was happening, Adam Cole was trying to get away in many cars, and of course Velveteen Dream brought a ladder. So basically this was happening, and then later Cole was already on the windshield of the car. But here comes the Undisputed Era trying to ensure that he wins, and he got pushed down and landed real hard, with blood all over his shoulders. But all of a sudden, here comes Yui to take him out, and then Cole gave the word to Roderick Strong and Fish, telling him, you know what to do. So what they did is, in the back trunk of the monster truck, there was like a stack of chairs that were everywhere. So basically, that's what happened. And one chair was outside of the ring, and Roderick Strong came out to bring it out. But out of nowhere, the chair was pulled out inside the ring, and it was, of course, out of the blue, the psychopath, the weirdo, Dexter Lumis. And believe me, I don't think Strong or Fish knew this was going to happen, but he took both Strong and Lumis took both of them out, and he put them in the trunk of a car and drove it off. And if you saw this on Twitter, I'll explain to that then. But Dream was close, but he didn't. But Cole low blowed him, telling him, like, giving him the Canadian Destroyer move, and that made the victory to ensure he retains the title. So that means Velveteen Dreams are done. As soon as he saw this, he was celebrating, but someone reminded him, what about Fish and Strong? What happened to them? Like, I don't think he's well aware what happened to them or what the Dexter Lumis did with them. It's still unclear. So, I mean, that was a good match. I'm not going to lie that. Now, next match was another singles match between Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa. This match was meant to happen. If you recall, this took place right after the Tommaso Ciampa lost to Johnny Gargano, and then he was admitting to Gargano, yes, you are the best, and he was attacked out of nowhere. And of course, we discovered it was Karrion Kross, and if you guys know who he is, he was known as Killer Kross. And of course, Tommaso Ciampa laid out a challenge to him for NXT Takeover. But this match was more of a psychological warfare type. We see mostly in these type of matches with Tommaso, he's more of the violent type, like the one who takes more give the pain to his opponent. But this time it was Karrion Kross who was doing it, and man, he was brutalizing great. And the more he was punching, the more it's like it's not affecting him. It was a good match. I'm not gonna lie, and I think we may see Karrion Kross down the line, maybe hopefully challenging for the title. I'm not sure, but we'll get to that some point in the future. But Karrion won the match, and it was great. I enjoyed it. Now the next final match was the main event. This one was for the NXT Women's Championship between Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, and Charlotte Flair. Now this was like a really interesting match because a lot of people were voting who's going to win. Some were going for Charlotte Flair because she's the queen. The others were going for Io Shirai because she deserved it. Rhea Ripley, well, basically she could change the ways of women wrestling. We're not sure, but that's how it's always been. I've been hearing on Twitter and many on the YouTube and highlights and stuff like that. But it was great moments on this match. I'm gonna skip ahead on one moment I like. Um, Charlotte Flair threw Rhea Ripley through the window while she was facing, getting in the face of Rhea Ripley. Unaware to them, Io Shirai was climbing to the top of the house, and she jumped on top of them. It was like so intense, so crazy how all of this was going down. I'm like enjoying everything. I was like, dang. But the real question is who is going to walk out, because in triple threat matches, this is like one of those days, like those matches, like you don't know who is going to win or what's the outcome of it. It's always been like that. But I'm going to try to skip ahead so you guys can see what it's this about. There was a moment where um, Charlotte Flair had Rhea Ripley in the figure eight leg lock, the same move that she used to beat um, Rebel for the title. But what happened next, this was something that's already been done by Drake Maverick. Io Shirai did a moonsault and she pinned Rhea Ripley, making her the women's championship. This was like an unexpected move. I mean, we seen it with Drake Maverick, what he did a couple weeks ago when he was in that triple threat match with Jake Atlas and, of course, Kushida. That was a good match, but this one was kind of like we saw and we couldn't believe it. And watching Io Shirai winning the title was like, finally she's the champion. She's been trying to get a title shot for this one for a long time. So I'm happy with the results. I have to say Io Shirai deserved it. I feel she has worked so hard to get there. I mean, I know you guys remembered her career back at Stardom, but yeah. So right now, I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts. Okay, what did I thought about NXT in your house? Well, to me, it felt a bit shorter, but it was okay because there were some good matches. I'm not gonna say that all the matches are bad. There were some good ones, like for example, the six women tag team match. It was a good one, but it does show to me that we may see more things to come with Tegan Knox, because I do see. I know she's been through hell and back, when she got injured, and that's something we've seen before. And now I feel like maybe she's getting the push that she needs. She's trying to make a name for herself, coming back after a big injury that she had that put her on the sideline for months. And I feel that. And Shotzi Blackheart, I do see her that too. I mean, her badass ways has always been impressive, and all of this and that. As for the Finn Balor and Damian Priest match, I've always been a fan of Balor. I'm not gonna lie about that. Learning about Balor and his past in Japan, it was always been one of those things where it makes me appreciate how talented, what extraordinary person he is in the ring. And as for Damian Priest, I have to say, I do see him more as a heel. That I would love to see him win title shots down the line, because he does have that heelish look that I've always looked for. If you guys recall, I'm a fan of Mike Camden, who's a heel himself, and it kind of um, fits into it. But I would like to see more Damian Priest. As now the North American title, there was a bit of the Keith Lee, like how he is unstoppable no matter how he puts out. And I enjoy what he did. Even the storyline between him and Gargano was great, where Keith Lee wanted to shut him up, knowing that he's not going to tolerate the whole Gargano way with his antics, how he's trying to bring this attitude into NXT. And I enjoyed it. And I'm not sure if we do see Keith Lee down the line going to the main roster. Now, there has been talk before, like a year ago, when ever since before and after with Keith Lee, that there's been talk that he could be jumped to the main roster. Now, I don't know when that could happen, because a guy his size is impressive, but I'm not sure if they will give him spots like that. That's one of those concerns or worriness from fans like me, who we know what he can do, but would be given the opportunity to do that. So we just gotta wait and see where they're gonna go with it. Gargano, I'm not sure. I know Vince is not a fan of Gargano, but we do see he is gonna remain with NXT for who knows how long. And then the NXT Championship match. That one was interesting because uh, we heard the rumors outside saying that there was a chance that Adam Cole could go to the main roster, or there were rumors saying that he could have a new contract. That's something that's already been talked about. And there was rumors that they said he did resign and all that. Now, as for Velveteen Dream, I did know there was talk that there were plans that he was planning to go to the main roster, but that idea was scrapped. I don't know, because it had something to do with what the incident took place a couple months ago. I'm not sure, but that I don't know where they're gonna go. But for Adam Cole, he is the longest reigning champion. The real question is will be the one to strip him. That's always been the key thing with when we have matches like these. Who is gonna be the one to take him out? And those are matches that for a fact you don't want to miss. And as for Velvet Dream, I'm not sure, and as for the women's match, it's still unclear what was the motive to put Charlotte Flair to be the NXT Women's Championship. Now, I do know Io Shirai has been unhappy for a long time, but I'm not sure if this is their way of trying to ensure Io Shirai stays, because we do know that Stardom has been, Bushiroad are trying to bring both Io Shirai and Kairi Sane back to Stardom, because they really want to make it legit now that they've been bought by Bushiroad. I would love nothing more, but I would like to see what Io Shirai can do in NXT now as the women's champion. Now that she's the women's champion, the real question is, who will challenge her for the title? Does Charlotte Flair going to go cash in her rematch clause? We'll just wait and see. But I'm happy that Io Shirai won, and can't wait to see what she's going to do as the women's champion in NXT. So I think that's about it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of me talking about NXT in your house, NXT Takeover in your house. Pardon me, but it was a good match. I'm not gonna lie. So I must bid all of you adieu. So stay safe, wash your hands. And also goodbye, mwah, and have a nice day. Bang.